Yay, welcome everyone to Love Vibe TV. I am Macy Matarazzo, your love and relationship expert and your favorite unicorn wrangler. And today I wanted to share with you the art and the consciousness of finding the one, but specifically the 3 pillars that become the formula for calling in your special person. And these are not filled with rules. They're not strategies where you're making yourself wrong or trying to fit into a box or trying to look like someone else. This is all about really having that connection to your true desire and accessing your connection to your beloved, which is already happening. So I don't know if you watched my video yesterday, but I talked a little bit about, do you have a soulmate? How do you know? Well, if you have the desire has everything you need within it to give you that. So it's up to you to treat your desire like it's a jewel, like it's an actual object in your world. It's invisible, it's within you, but it actually is already manifested. So the more you can remind yourself that this is not something that is, a question. There's no question. If you have a desire, there's no question. That is your desire. That is divinely given to you by the universe. So if you know deep in your heart you would like to share your life with someone and it hasn't happened before, or dating seems hard, or you look online and it seems like there are no good ones, that doesn't mean you don't have your person out there. You have to keep your mindset clear so that you maintain the faith and persist and don't give up and honor yourself. You're the only one who can have your back. You're the only one who can be a champion for your love story. So remember that, because I think it's really easy to think, oh, well, if it's not right in front of me, or if I look online and there aren't any attractive ones every time I go, or I'm just not seeing anyone I like, that's the end of the story. That is such a blip of a blip of a blip in time and in the creative consciousness that it's time to know what's actually true. And what's actually true is the 3D world is just a sliver, a teeny bit of what's available in our consciousness and in the universe. And that's why I know this stuff sounds kind of woo-woo for some, but it's actually a science. You can test this out, and I will be doing a lot of practices in the Unicorn Love Experiment. If you haven't seen that, come join us. That's going to start on Monday, and you can immerse yourself in some of these teachings with me, because this is where you go from, what was in the history of your life to a new reality. And that takes jumping tracks. That takes really being a different consciousness when it comes to your love life. And most people won't do it. Most people will try it for maybe 5 minutes and then fall into the, oh, this isn't working for me story again. I want you to know that, certainly for me and for all of my clients that have implemented these tools, it takes a little grit. It takes a little grit. How many of us are here and we're over 40, over 50, over 60, and we're now looking at, I would like to have a relationship. And we've practiced some other ways for that many years, 40, 50 years, who knows how many lifetimes. So this is an opportunity to change your entire life and consciously create your life from a whole new place. And I'm talking about calling in your special person, but this includes everything you want to create. So if that sounds fun for you, let's talk about the pillars of the art and the consciousness of finding the one, I made a little graphic. So we have 3 pillars. I named them the love genius, the love vibe, and the love allies. And these are all essential in order to be, really in the space where you can receive something greater in your life. So let's talk about what each one of these is. I'm actually going to start in the middle with the love vibe. I mean, the love vibe is your energy. And if you've ever been in a situation where you haven't felt that great, or you've met someone and you're like, oh, they're putting on a kind of funky vibe, and you can sort of know when this is happening, and you've probably sensed it with people you've been around. So be aware of that. Just notice, okay, well, what energy am I putting out? The easiest way to know is to notice what stories you're telling yourself right now. Notice what thoughts you're having and how they're impacting you emotionally. If you're letting your thoughts run wild and you're going into sad stories or the victim story, or blaming people, or just feeling like, you have to people please in order to be loved, then that needs to change. That needs to change. It needs to come back to the place where you are taking personal responsibility, where you are being that beloved for yourself, where you are no longer, you're finding the space of possibility. You're asking new questions and you're saying, okay, well, what's it going to take? What else is possible? So that you can start elevating your energy. And, just to be totally honest, like, I know that we've gone through some really hard years, and I've noticed a lot of people. So if you've been feeling kind of down or anxious, I've noticed a lot of people at the time of recording this video in the past couple of weeks who have expressed feeling a lot of stress, depression, intensity. And I am kind of aware that, we've gone through some hard years. A lot of people made it through, and there's a little fatigue here. So it does take even more care, more consciousness, more coming back to yourself and saying, okay, well, what do I need? For me, I pretty much every day I did some sort of practice or therapy or coaching session for me, body work, something, so that I was nurturing myself and keeping my mental state healthy. And it took some effort. So, you've got to be willing to be that kind, loving person to yourself. I think of it like, okay, well, what would I want my beloved to do for me? And it's things like, wow, I can see you're struggling. What can I do for you? And you're asking yourself that. You're not waiting for someone else to rescue you. You're asking yourself that. So caring for your love vibe is key, because that's your inner world that is radiating out. And if you're feeling stuck and lost and depressed and heaviness, then it just means that there's something that is not aligned with you. Either you need something and you're not taking care of that, or you haven't spoken something you need to speak, or nutrition, or whatever, sleep, whatever it is, only you will know. And sometimes it helps to get, reflection from a friend, like, I've been really struggling, can we talk this out? Something like that. So you really want to care for your love vibe, because the love vibe is what people are going to pick up. And if you're projecting out fear and, heaviness, then it's not going to be very attractive. So that's the first pillar. The second one I like to talk about is let's talk about the love genius. The love genius to me is really your personal power, knowing you have choice. And a lot of times this is connected to our beliefs about relationship. So relationship is all there is. So if you're out there and you're like, well, I have to focus on my career first, or I have to figure out this other thing first before I can even consider Well, remember that everything is a relationship. So if you're struggling with money or your health or even friends, then there's, a core relationship thing that may need attention. So relationship is all there is. What is going on? What is that source of the maybe misunderstanding? Because sometimes we think, oh, well, I'm not lovable because my dad left when I was young, or we've made these conclusions that become assumptions in our world, and we live by our assumptions. That's what we're creating. We're creating our assumptions. So if we've decided that we're unlovable, then everyone we meet just begins to reflect that. And so it takes, once again, a little more grit, consciousness, energy to be willing to take care of that. And in SuperLOVED, one of the tools I use is called regenerating images in memory. I find this the most powerful tool to get to that subconscious level, bring the underlying beliefs and sort of decisions and choices that we've been carrying around to the conscious and transform it. Really be in a space where you get to be facilitated in healing those core wounds. And you're not broken. It's just something that we get to align back to who we are now as we are evolving and growing into the brilliant unicorn woman that we be. We sometimes have some things that were just like collected from the past that aren't serving us. So when we don't know, we don't know. So it takes doing special processes to get underneath the surface. And that's what you want to address with the Love Genius. It's like really going under the surface so that you are aligned with what it is you want to create. And you can consciously create what you truly desire in life. And then the love allies are, relationship is about relating, right? So you're not going to heal your relationship stuff in a vacuum. You're not going to stop the pattern of the bad relationships just by, hoping or wishing. That's just not how it works. When we're in relationships, that's where we start developing that safety and security. And if we've had some relationships that went against that or took away eroded our trust around that, then we need to get around people who can be that for us and reflect that to us. So it's really the quality of people, which is what I'm hoping this community is for you, whether it's Love Vibe TV or the SuperLOVED group or SuperLOVED coaching or the Unicorn Love Experiment, wherever the community is. My goal is to, include these 3 pillars in everything I do, because you need to play in the relationship space to be seen and heard and have a sensory experience of you being able to receive love and you being able to actually be that kindness for another person, to be adored and to adore. It's actually something we learn how to do. And the challenging part about love relationships is that so many of us have grown up with, there's lots of triggery words in there. I mean, the word love itself has often been used as a weapon, right? Maybe you've had a relationship where someone said they loved you and then they cheated on you, or, a parent or a guardian or something occurred that kind of messed with that word for you. So there often is, I have a lot of different ways that I play with that, but I think of, I just like to be aware that can be kind of such a broad word that can hold happiness and pain. So just being aware of that, in relationship. And one of the ways that we change that is being in secure, loving partnerships. And you need to know what that is so that you can know when it shows up. So some of the things, so we'll just summarize this. This is your personal power. This is the power within you, really the force that is driving you. This is the love vibe. This is the energy you're putting out. And this is love allies. This is like the healthy relationship space, creating that and having the support and knowing that if you want to be in a love relationship, it is about being seen, being heard, and receiving support from another. If you don't know how to receive and you're refusing receiving, or you don't feel safe doing that, or you feel like you have to do everything yourself and you can't need anyone, then you're pushing people away. That's just how it works. So these are really good core things to remember. And that's, a big part of the practices, the structure, the practices, the unicorn love experiments will be through that. We'll be going through that filter and really affirming the power that you be and the desire for your love story in a way that is not just, hoping and wishing or making a vision board, but it's actually a sensory, a deeper experience that changes you. That means that when you do these processes that I'm going to teach you, that you will be different as a result of them. So you're not going to go in and have 6 weeks of sort of feeling positive. It's not that. It's not like rah, let's cheerlead our way through this. This is actually about making a change and applying it. So once you have the awareness and the tools and the knowing that you aren't what you may have thought you were, or the world isn't what you thought it was, that then you can be different and create something different. It does take that level of grit. So I am here to facilitate and be your guide and offer you regenerating images and memory, group sessions and healing and tools and practices that will change your whole life. So I would love to see you joining us. We start Monday, and I hope this was helpful just to get an idea of what it actually takes to implement the art and the consciousness of finding the one. These pillars are the key. And then there's a lot of different additional tools that I share in my Super Love system. And if this sounds like something that would be helpful for you, message me, connect, and let's create your amazing love story this year. All right. See you really soon. Bye.